Hello, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we are going to be answering the question, how would I judge Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World Season 2, and what if the season had the top 2 format? I can't wait to find out. Just before we get started, if you enjoy watching my videos, I would love you to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out and encourages me to make more videos. Now, let's get into it. Originally, there was one winner each week, and the queen who won the challenge had to save one of the bottom 3 queens from lip-syncing. But now, since it is a top 2 format, it's just going to work the same way as in a regular All-Star season. So, in the first episode, it was a girl group challenge. Lemon originally won it rightfully so, because we all know she is a rap stress. Also, originally they were being judged in groups which fucked 2 queens. I'm talking about Alexis Mateo and Le Fil. Alexis was in the bottom because Eureka and La Kahena didn't have the strongest night, and Le Fil was just safe because he wasn't in the group with Lemon. Le Fil's verse were for sure my second favorite. He truly killed it, and the fact that he was just safe was unbelievable. Anyways, since it's the top 2 format, I think Le Fil and Lemon should lip-sync for the win. I struggled who to put as high, because I would agree with Cheryl, Kennedy, or Tynomi being in the top for this challenge, but I decided to go with Tynomi Banks, since I think I enjoyed her verse the most out of the 3, and her runway look was also really cool. As for the bottoms, Miss Fiercelicious is going to be low, not necessarily for her verse, more so for her performance. It looked like she was giving 30%. The clear bottom 2 were Eureka and La Kahena. La Kahena totally flopped in my opinion, and Eureka didn't do as bad as people were saying, but it was unfortunately bottom 2 worthy. The lip-sync song this episode was meaningless, and honestly I don't think any of them would do so well performing to this song. It's definitely not in Lemon's wheelhouse, but I don't think it's in Le Fil's wheelhouse either. I can only speculate, but I decided to give the win to Lemon. I think she would choose La Kahena to go home, since Eureka did a better job in the challenge and Lemon was very fair every time she had to save someone from lip-syncing. Since in this case they are choosing lipsticks, she would choose the queen who did the worst that night, and that unfortunately was La Kahena. I think Le Fil might choose Eureka, because he would not want La Kahena to become a double pork chop. Anyways, now it is time for the acting challenge, and I think the judging this episode was pretty fair. The clear top 3 were Kennedy, Lemon, and Cheryl. Cheryl definitely did the best in the challenge and lost only because of her bad runway look, but since it is the top 2 format, kicking her out of the top 2 would not be right in my opinion. Lemon is gonna stay high since she also did incredible. Eureka and Alexis are gonna be safe, as they were originally, and in the bottom 3 we have Le Fil, Tynomi Banks, and Miss Fiercelicious. Fiercelicious was originally saved, and it's also going to be the case here because I think she was the least bad out of the 3, and her runway look was one of the best looks of the night. The lip-sync song was Let Me Think About It. I have no idea who would win honestly. I think this lip-sync would be close, but I decided to give the win to Kennedy. It doesn't really change anything though because I count the top 2 placement as a win, and also I think both of them would choose Tynomi Banks to go home. Originally, Le Fil went home here, however I don't think that would happen in this scenario, since he was in the top 2 in the week 1. That unfortunately means Tynomi is gonna go home a bit earlier than originally. Now it is time for the ball challenge, and as you can see, one of the original finalists will be going home. I do think that Tynomi Banks had the weakest looks this episode, but since she is no longer here, the clear bottom 2 are Cheryl and Kennedy Davenport. I wondered if I should put Lemon as low here, but I decided against it because 2 of her looks were really safe, and her robot look was one of, if not my favorite look from this category. Eureka is gonna stay safe, but in my opinion originally she got robbed of being high. I considered putting Le Fil in the top 2 because I'm sure he would do a great job, but I decided to put Fierce and Alexis in the top 2 because both of them had a really strong showing this episode. The lip-sync song this episode was What the Hell by Avril Lavigne. I'm sure this would be very close, but I think Fierce would be very determined to win and send one of the Americans home. This would probably be the most shocking elimination of the season. Fiercalicious is just made for TV. Technically, Kennedy's track record was a bit stronger since she beat Cheryl in the lip sync one episode earlier. However, Fierce was really ready to play the game. And I think she would send Kennedy Davenport home. It sucks to see her go home so early, but honestly I would live if Fiercalicious really did that. Now it's time for the roast. They were all put into pairs for this challenge and Kennedy Davenport ended up winning. She is not here anymore, but here we still have LaPhil. I decided to put LaPhil with Alexis because I think that would have happened in this scenario. So, between Fiercalicious and Lemon, Lemon definitely beats Fiercalicious, which means Lemon is the first high queen and Fierce is the first bottom queen. Between Cheryl and Eureka, Cheryl ended up winning, and I agree with that, which means Eureka is the second bottom queen of the night. As we know, Alexis was originally against Kennedy Davenport and lost. However, if she's paired with LaPhil, I think she would have won. Comedy challenges are definitely not LaPhil's favorite, so I don't know if he would be able to do better than Alexis Mateo. That means LaPhil is the last queen in the bottom, and Alexis is going to be in the top. I think in this case, Cheryl and Lemon would for sure be in the top two, so Alexis is going to be high, and they will be lip-syncing to Hush 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 by the Pussycat Dolls. I think both of them would do a really good job performing to this song, and since I couldn't decide, I decided to give them both the win. Especially because it wouldn't change anything, since I think both Cheryl and Lemon would pick Eureka's lipstick. Cheryl would not choose Fiercalicious, because she saved her earlier in the season, and I also don't think she would choose LaPhil's lipstick, because they are both from the UK. I think Lemon would consider getting rid of Miss Fiercalicious, but at the end of the day I think she would want to be fair, and she would also choose Eureka. The next episode was Snatch Game the Risical. I appreciate that they were trying to do something new, but it just didn't work, and in my opinion all of them kind of flopped, and only Lemon did great. Cheryl was the second best of the night, which means she is going to be lip-syncing against Lemon for the second time in a row. I don't see LaPhil succeeding in this challenge. I do think he would do great in the Risical, but I don't know if he would do a good job in the Snatch Game. On his original season, he went home on the Snatch Game, so maybe he would have a huge redemption this time around, but I'm not so sure about it. Alexis Mateo did a good job in the Risical but flopped the Snatch Game, and I think Fiercalicious did serviceable in the Snatch Game and good in the Risical. But overall not good enough to escape being in the bottom. Lemon and Cheryl are going to be lip-syncing to How Far I Will Go by Alessia Cara, and in my opinion Lemon would win this. I do not know who would she choose to go home, because LaPhil and Fiercalicious had a pretty similar run throughout the season. Fiercalicious was low twice, and it's her second time in the bottom, but she also has one win. LaPhil has one win and one high placement, but it's his third time in the bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Fiercalicious has slightly stronger track record than LaPhil, and that's why I think Lemon would choose LaPhil to go home here. Also, Fiercalicious did pretty good this episode, and that also would work in her favor. LaPhil didn't make it to the finale, but still did much better than in the original timeline. So it's time for the finale, and we have here Miss Fiercalicious over Kennedy Davenport. Originally, it was the lip-sync smackdown, so I decided not to change that. I will go through each scenario, because I have no idea who Miss Fiercalicious would have been lip-syncing against if she made it to the finale. So, if she's lip-syncing against Lemon, while I do think it would be a close call, Lemon would probably win. Originally, when Cheryl lip-synced against Alexis, she ended up losing, which I don't think was correct. Cheryl did such a good job in the song So Many Men, So Little Time, and in my opinion, she should have won over Alexis. That means lip-sync for the crown will be between Lemon and Cheryl. The final lip-sync song was Love Can Move Mountains by Celine Dion. I don't think this song was in Lemon's wheelhouse, but she still did a pretty good job. We didn't see Cheryl perform to this song, but in my opinion Lemon would still win the season. Now, if Lemon and Cheryl were lip-syncing against each other in the first round, I think Lemon would still end up winning, which means Cheryl is eliminated. Between Fiercalicious and Alexis, it honestly could go either way, but I decided to give it to Alexis Mateo, since I don't think Fierce would do much better. So I took their track record as the deciding factor. So in this scenario, we have the same top two as originally. Lemon versus Alexis Mateo. It was close, but Lemon ended up winning, and I do agree with that, which means in this case, Lemon is also winning the season. Last case scenario, where Lemon is lip-syncing against Alexis in the first round. In my opinion, Lemon would win here as well. And between Miss Fiercalicious and Cheryl, if they are lip-syncing to So Many Men, So Little Time, Cheryl is winning, but if they are lip-syncing to Hideaway, Fiercalicious might win. But originally Lemon was choosing the box first, so I think she's definitely lip-syncing to Hideaway no matter what, which means Cheryl is gonna move on. And Lemon would still beat her in the final round. As you can see, I don't see any scenario in which Lemon loses the season. She really devoured, and I was so happy to see her winning. Congratulations to Lemon. And what do you think would happen if Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World 2 had the top two format? Let me know in the comments and click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.